Hey TJ, this is Campbell. I just wanted to make a quick video to display how I used macros in my dev environment, as well as how maybe we could use them going forward for service requests. So what I've done here is log into a dev environment of my own. I'm going to users, and I'm going to find the user I am currently working with. This has a system administrator profile, but this could of course be any profile we use as we go forward. Now we want to go into editing this profile and quickly search for macro. This allows us to quickly get to the macro default on setting, which must be toggled as on. You must be able to run macros on multiple records, as well as making sure that all of your macro basic access settings are enabled. The data administration can come later, but basic access must all be checked. Now I'm navigating to the app manager so we can edit the app that we want to have macros for. For me, for this example, it is going to be the service console because we do traditionally work out of cases for Agile Accelerator now. I'm going to come in here and go to utility items, and then I'm going to select new and macro. Save here and go back to your service console, and it should be enabled. From here, I will go to the service console and notice that my macros are now enabled at the bottom right here. If I wanted to use one of these macros, I would go into a case just like this was a work item. For me, this is an example case I had created. Keep in mind I had not updated any of the case details, so this is just a basic setup. There's two of my existing ones. I'm going to create a new one. And this one I am going to call a high priority. So in case I see a work item in the queue or any other use case we have, I could just go in and assign this directly to me. You could name this honestly whatever you want if you keep it in your private folder, but a great thing would be to enable these for the whole team. Honestly, a description is optional, but if you'd like, you can fill it with anything that would remind you of the macro. This will quickly update to a high priority, anything like that. Now from here, you're going to want to edit the instructions, otherwise you have an empty macro. This is very similar to the Lightning App Builder, so if you are familiar with that layout, it will be very familiar to you. Again, I have not updated any of the case details or anything custom here. This could reflect any and all of the custom fields we have inside of our current work. I am going to change some of these instructions to make sure that it goes to high priority and I make sure it goes to me. So first thing I want to do is make sure that this case owner is always going to go to me. It's me right now because I created the case, but imagine it was a case that was not mine. I'm going to change the status to escalated because this is now a new high priority case. The priority will then be set to high as well so that I can make sure that I have this. Now, if you have just those instructions, it is not going to actually save anything. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a save option included. Now, subject and description are also optional. I'm going to make sure that a submit action, and I remember that submit actions are final, save, and go back to my case. Now from my case, I'm going to go into the case I had earlier. I'm going to press M on my keyboard, or you can select the macro utility at the bottom toolbox. I'm simply going to select menu high priority, run, and this, including everything, will go through with that submit action and change all of the status fields that are necessary to us. Now this leaves us a ton of options. We could also do things such as update the dev and testing team using the fields at the bottom. So how similarly to how I changed the case owner, I could have a dev team or a CRM team or a testing team that would allow me to go through this. And the more macros that you build, the more that you can combine into longer strings of macros that save you longer and longer amounts of time. Like I said before, you could go down and create, for example, a CRM team macro. So that would change the owner or the dev to whoever I would have set to that macro, as well as the testing team. So you could see how this could streamline a lot of our initial interactions with our work and cases. Now, one of the best features of this is that whenever a macro is created, it can either be set to a private folder, like for example, I have mine in a recent default folder, or it can be globally searched by anyone if we were to put it into a custom folder. So if anyone on the team spent the time making a macro, it could benefit the entire team. In conclusion, I really think macros could benefit our team, and I hope that this video made this content a little bit easier to digest. I'm looking forward to communicating with you on this further. Thank you.